Hello. Welcome along. This is episode 180 of Adventures in Pop. My name is Simon Jacobs. It's lovely to have you with me. And in this episode, we are going to talk about the return of Goldhawk Foxes. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with who the hell I'm talking about, Goldhawk Foxes, we have been going for about 4 years now, 3 or 4 years certainly, in that somewhere in that area. And Goldhawk Foxes is what some people might maybe slightly unkindly call my side project, but I think that undermines its significance in my life. It is a collaboration between myself and a guy called CJ, who just happens to live pretty nearby here in West London. And we got together a few years ago, had a go at recording a song that in fact his brother had written. That's where we started from. Then we thought, oh, that was good. We had a little go at doing some cover versions because we were a little bit kind of nervous about actually writing something together. Could we really write something together? And when we started writing together, it kind of went pretty well. And so we have released, as I'm sure some of you will know, we have released an album. It's called We Are Goldhawk Foxes. You'll find it on all your normal streaming platforms. You're very welcome to have a little listen. And it's fun. I really like it. The music is kind of R&B pop with a few, other kind of types thrown in. There's a kind of more dance track. There's a more kind of garage track. But it is mostly in that R&B pop kind of space. With CJ doing lead vocals because he has a really good voice. And, we both write and argue about arranging and producing and, the whole thing, which is great. So the best part of a year has gone by since we published this first album, launched that first album of We Are Goldhawk Foxes. I think that was last September. And in that period, we have been pretty busy. We've basically got a whole second album now. Some of the tracks are a little bit unfinished or a little bit unmixed, and some have to, be tightened up here and there. But make no mistake, we have a second album. And the good news is that the first track that you're going to hear from this second album is out next week on Friday, the 31st of August. And I'm excited to be kind of getting back into the mode of releasing a whole bunch of Goldhawk Foxes songs. So the second album, I would say a little step up from the first album. I think the writing's got better. I think some of the songs better. There's more of what you'll have heard on that first album and a bit more style variation besides. And the first track we're releasing, which is next week, is called So Here's to You. And I just want to tell you a little bit about that, then leave you with our fabulous lyrics video, let you hear the whole goddamn thing. And so you'll be the first to know in advance of next Friday's release. Can't say fairer than that. So Here's to You. The truthful thing to say about this is that actually we wrote this pretty near the beginning of our writing time together. But then we really liked it. And then we, for some reason, I think both of us just got a bit bored of it. Maybe we'd heard it too much. We'd gone round it too many times. We'd sung it too often. And it ended up just sort of being parked. So it is a track that really should have been on that first album, but somehow we just got a bit tired of it and we put it to one side. And I think it's good that we did that. When we got it back out again, when we dusted it off from the shelf, we just thought, that really is pretty much good enough to go. And I think CJ did another vocal. We played around with some of the arrangement, and suddenly it was making a whole lot more sense. It sounded much more exciting because we just hadn't listened to it for a year and a half. It is a track that is built entirely from a single synth arpeggiated sample, and it would only be fair for me to play you that piece of sample because basically the whole song emerges from that sample. So I'm just going to play you that, and so you can see how what we started with basically. So here is the all-important synth sample that basically is the foundation of this song. And then with the rhythm, it gives you a better sense of how it's all kind of fitting together. So that's the synth arpeggiated sample that we worked with. And then, as usual, there are tons and tons of vocals. In fact, if really the arpeggiated sample, the rhythm and the vocals, you've pretty much got the whole thing. And added in, there are some samples of some other vocals. There's a female voice somewhere in there that just, has its own thing going on, and it sounds good. So what I probably should do is just give you a little flavour of what some of those vocals are doing. And interestingly, as I think I point out on here, there's a bit of a blend of CJ and me both singing some backing vocals together. You would never know, because actually CJ's voice, I think, is pushed to the front quite rightly. So, I'm somewhat shielded, I think, by a better voice. Have a listen. As usual, there's a lot of vocal action going on here. So I'm going to play you a little section just of vocals and just see, the layering of vocals.
I know you see me as the enemy, and now you hate on me for being me. I don't need to prove I'm right. You don't need to lose this fight. You try to hide it, but you can't conceal. You told the game, but I can see the way you really feel. Think it's time you think things through.
And down there's just a bank of R's, which is a blend of CJ and my backing vocal singing. Okay, so as I say, this is going to be available on Friday. Tell your friends, enjoy it. I hope you will, and I'm going to be leaving you with the video. And all I want to say is that sometime in a couple of weeks later, in mid-September, will be the second track from my next bunch of songs. The first one was You Do You. That's been out now for a couple of weeks. I hope you have already, familiarised yourself with that. And the second one is called The Story Ends, and that's out a couple of weeks after this one. So it's all going on, all very exciting. So I'll leave you now with So Here's to You, which is the first Goldhawk Foxes track from our second album, and I hope you like it. Here it is.
I'ma change your mind, I'ma make you see, I'ma catch you up, I'm gonna make you eat your words, and I'll be right here where you can find me. And it may look like I have forgot, but you'll never have to remind me. Did you really count me out? I'm gonna show you what I'm made of. Clear up any doubt. Are you ready? Cause after everything we went through, you still want proof. Well, here's to you. I know you see me as the enemy, and now you hate on me for being me. I don't need to prove I'm right. You don't need to lose this fight. You try to hide it, but you can't conceal. You told the game, but I can see the way you really feel. I think it's time you think things through. So here's to you. Everything changes and nothing stays the same. I know people talking about you insecure, but I'm not the one to blame. It's such a shame you're hating on me over time. It's not a game. I'm gonna have to draw the line. I'm here indefinitely. Your best bet is to work with me. But you tried to count me out. I'm sure being kind slips your mind. What's that all about? Are you ready? Cause even after everything we went through, you still want proof. Well, here's to you. I know you see me as the enemy, and that you hate on me for being me. I don't need to prove I'm right. You don't need to lose this fight. You try to hide it, but you can't conceal. You told the game, but I can see the way you really feel. I think it's time you think things through. So here's to you, to you, to you. As the enemy, and that you hate on me for being me. I don't need to prove I'm right. You don't need to lose this fight. You try to hide it, but you can't conceal. You told the game, but I can see the way you really feel. I think it's time you think things through.